from the beautiful island of Crete and from the south of Crete, from a place called Sougia. And we did a beautiful, beautiful walk today over the mountain from Sougia to a place called Lissos. And we wanna share today.
Yeah, we thought it would be nice to still have that conversation time, and because the reason we're here and we're doing that hike is because Lissos has a very ancient Asklepion temple, and you were talking about it for months and months, and you've been there already a few times. So I had to come and see.
Exactly. So, yeah, I've been here twice before. Friend took me to see this Asklepion temple. So these were snake healing temples dedicated to the demigod Asclepius. And people would come from far and wide, all over Crete and actually beyond Crete, particular to this site in Lissos, and would come there for healing. So we imagine particularly physical illness, but maybe also sickness of heart and mind. And as far as we know, it's a combination of healing that happened there. They speak of catharsis, so the cleansing that was really important, with water.
And we saw so there is a spring.
There's a sacred spring,
which is said to be a healing spring,
and maybe it was built actually around that.
Yeah, and probably, they said that at that time there was a river, but the spring is just in front of the temple. So probably, like a lot of other places in the world, when you have a spring or that where the water has some properties and healing properties, then it's often a sacred site.
Yeah, and so people would come, get cleansed, maybe have offerings as well. Apparently, there were also, when they came for many days, a particular diet. And then the core of the healing was the dreaming in these so-called incubation chambers. And these were places from what we heard and what we experienced there as well in a journey, these were dark spaces where people would be in community and either sleep and dream or rest with their intention for healing. And they would dream and rest in the presence of non-venomous snakes, the so-called Asklepion snakes, which were long, slender, golden colored snakes. And the healing was said to come from these dreams, and they were interpreted. And I strongly believe also that the healing would have happened through all the aspects, the being in community, and getting information and healing and guidance through the dreams and through what's transferred by the snakes, right?
So we thought that today we could talk about what we did today, just visiting an ancient site, and probably you've done that also in your life and probably where you are, and what is it? How we can connect to the site by journeying or by just trying to have some or listening to our intuition, or just being with nature, just that time of that moment when we meet that ancient part, and also the layering of time, because I mean, some of those sites are much more much older than just the even the rest of the rooms that are on it. So we thought it would be interesting to speak about that, because we are called alchemy, and it's shamanism for our time. That's really important for us to bring the spirituality to, okay, what do we do with all of that?
Yeah, and really engage with these places. We thought we'll take you on a little journey. We have a few clips so that you can see and also get a feeling of the place. Just gonna we're just gonna share too.
And also the sound.
Yes. Cute. See? Works. Imagine how many people came here to be healed. Their ailments, whatever they are, physical, mental. Maybe they were brought by a companion, a relative, a friend. Maybe they were greeted here. There's always water involved too, bathing. There are some scriptures. And already some offerings. Here it is, the inner sanctum of the temple. The altar, mosaic space. I imagine it was covered, it was dark in there. Because the medicine is one of dreaming in the dark with the snakes, these beautiful Asklepion snakes, which are long and slim and golden. You can see depictions of that on the staff of Asclepius. It's from Yeah, we wanted to just share this to give a little taste.
Yeah, and so yeah, the thing is, when we arrived on the site, I mean, now it's all seen. I mean, there are fences, and but then first I mean, we kind of ask permission, and there's a lot of trees, a lot of beautiful trees around, and I mean, when you arrive, it's a bit of a devotion, or just having that feeling that we enter a sacred site, and then we journey on the site to also have more info, trying to have more information.
Yeah. What I liked also was today just to sit where you saw the wall of the Asklepion. It was like a bench, and we sat next to each other before we did the journey, and we said, let's just tune in to the place and through the back, and I thought that was very powerful to just open our senses.
Yeah.
And for me, it was really challenging because there were lots of people coming. Maybe there weren't even that many, but some of them were German, so I'm German, I understand it. And so it was also an interesting discipline to, yeah, open ourselves to the place and drop in and connect, even though there were people.
So there's several ways to just drop in. The easiest way is just to let ourselves be curious and be open to everything, with also, as I said, some feeling of devotion, or at least for respect to the place. And then we can have intuition, we can receive images, we can receive feelings, sense of knowing the place, or sense of familiarity, or something like that.
And then we did a classic shamanic journey though then. So I had my phone and I had a drumming track. We had 15 minutes, and we lay down, closed our eyes, and really had the intention to connect with the place and to ask if there's something that wanted to be shown to us or known to us, or for us to be guided. And then we both went on a journey.
Yeah, and that was interesting. We both received information that and answered to our questions, and healing, and we could connect also. We had information around the place, and we could connect also different, let's say, spirits all around, and yeah, it gives something else. It gives, we don't know. I mean, even we don't know if what was, we don't know exactly what happened in those temples, because there's no writing of that time, because
there is some,
but there's some, but not a lot. And so we don't know if what we receive, I mean, like in shamanic journey, we never exactly know, but it gives another perspective, another some shape to the experience also.
Yeah, you can share a little bit about what we receive. I feel and it was interesting because I was here last year as well and journeyed as well, and I feel there's another layer I received, and what we know from history is that these incubation chambers, that people were sleeping and dreaming. And the image I received, though, this time also was one of where people were sitting next to one another, and the sense was people were swaying, and there was a lot of herbs being burned and chanting as well. And it was quite an ecstatic um, experience as well. And there was an interesting thing I've either was me thinking about it, but it was shown that um, what we experience sometimes now in a sauna, where people are in community, in the sweat, and somebody, the sauna master or mistress comes in and creates a little ceremony. It's like that is like a resonance also to rituals like that. Um, and I don't know if you want to share about the more ancient layer.
I really connect. So
Yeah.
I didn't know that there was a spring at the moment we did the journey, and I clearly connected to something much more ancient from the temple. Um, and I mean, that's why I say it's often the same in places like that, because the mountain and the water, or the rocks and the water, it's as if they work in pair to create something special into the water. And people often think that the water is special, but in fact it's the mountain around that create something special in the water, by filtering, by letting some specific um, um, yeah
Minerals,
minerals, or and those very ancient spirits. So yeah, I really connected to that, and to the snakes when I just laid. I was just at the beginning sitting on that bench, and I was feeling the snakes in my back. Like I had several just going behind me. It was really a physical sensation. So it's kind of funny to do that, and yeah, we thought that we could talk about that, and also invite people and you to share your experiences also, and not to be shy about your experience, because when you do that, sometimes we can feel a bit weird, having the sense that it's familiar, or not,
or do we make it up?
Yeah, exactly. So
I wanted to add briefly also this layer that I received of the ancient, the more ancient place. So you received the spring without even knowing, and of course the spring is still there and flowing down a bit further into your basin. And I was shown that yes, there's the temple, and that to the left and further up, that this was a more ancient site of worship. And I was curious, and I clumbered up, and I did find a small, a small cave. I didn't journey there, but I tuned in and did feel that was, maybe it wasn't the main site, but it was a site of worship. And of course, it reminded me that all of these sites, it's like the Oracle of Delphi. What's really much more ancient is the worship of Gaia, of Mother Earth. So it's interesting, you know, the spring, you received the spring, I received that cave, and the place was built there, and of course in Crete we find this layering of time, because the ancient Minoan culture, where we have where the figurine of the Cretan snake priestess goddess was found, it's much older. It's over 1,500 years older than the Greek Asclepions. So yeah, you find these layers here on the island. Yeah. So yeah. So how do we engage with so-called sacred places or places of worship?
Yeah, and I think we said a lot already about that. Just thinking about respect of the place and just receiving and not making anything from that. And but I would really like that conversation to start other conversation, and for you to comment or to add your own experience to that. I don't know if you can, but I would like to open the floor.
Yeah.
And so we stop the recording and we continue the conversation. I mean online and also offline with the one who can be there and want to share about their experience and perhaps any way. I'm sure you.
I mean, there's also often it's also one might bring offerings.
Yeah.
That's another little piece actually I could share. It's something I've noticed in my own spiritual life. I wasn't always so aware of this actual exchange. But I'm also realizing it can be an offering, can also be a prayer or
like so very often water.
Yeah, it can be water, can be something tangible, can be seeds. When I went next to the Asklepion temple further up and found this little cave, I crawled in and felt my way, and I had a little actually like a vision of how people were there in worship, but also I saw people making love there and being with the earth. And I had my little pouch with me, and I have a little bell in there, and I felt a stone. I had a carnelian stone, and I knew that was something the place would have appreciated. So
yeah, and the best way is always to ask the place also, because
to ask for
what they would like.
Or whether we could do something for the place.
I know that, for instance, in my shamanic training, I was also taught not to use nuts or things for sometimes it's not good for the environment, and sometimes it's good. I mean, it's just the best way is just to ask
and see what arises.
Yeah, but that's really interesting, because I mean, we can just create a small hotel with some flowers from the place, and but interesting to bring that.
Yeah. So, shall we open the floor?
Yeah.
And let's.
So I don't know how perhaps I'm going to let you.
So we can
end.
pause.